Do you really own your possessions, or do they own you? I used to think I had everything. An apartment full of stuff, a closet overflowing with clothes, a collection of shoes I barely touched. I worked tirelessly to buy more, new cars, bigger TVs, the latest phone. But here's the bitter truth. The more I had, the emptier I felt. Every month, the bills piled up. Rent, insurance, a gym membership I never used. I was stressed, constantly feeling short on time, short on energy. And then one day, as I looked around my apartment, it hit me. I wasn't living, I was just consuming. I remember the first time I cleaned out my closet. I kept only what I actually wore and packed the rest for donation. Strangely, I didn't feel any loss. On the contrary, I felt lighter. I kept going, getting rid of useless things, old electronics, books I had never read, decorative items I bought just because they looked nice. And then I realized, true freedom isn't about having more, it's about having less, but more of what truly matters. If this is your first time visiting the channel, hit subscribe and like so you don't miss out on exciting upcoming content. Common criticisms of the minimalist lifestyle. I remember the first time I told my friends I was trying out minimalism. They burst into laughter. Are you broke or something? Why are you throwing your stuff away? Come on, I love shopping. What's the fun in living like that? This is just a trend. Give it a few years and everyone will be back to luxury cars, big houses, and designer brands. I used to think like them. I believed that having money meant buying as much as possible to fully enjoy life. But then I started questioning, why do I need 30 shirts when I only wear 5? Why do I own an apartment full of stuff, yet always feel cramped and overwhelmed? So I decided to experiment. For a week, I only wore my 7 favorite outfits and ignored everything else. No one noticed. No one cared. But I felt different. Mornings became easier, no more wasting time choosing what to wear, no more feeling suffocated by a cluttered closet. That's when I realized we don't actually need that much. We're just obsessed with having more because we fear being judged. But the truth is, no one cares how much stuff you own. What really matters is how you live. The reality, we are controlled by consumption. Have you ever gone shopping just because you were bored, not because you actually needed something? I have. On stressful days, I'd stop by the mall and buy a few new things. It felt exciting, like I was rewarding myself. But after a few days, the thrill faded, and I wanted to buy more. I didn't realize I was trapped in a dangerous cycle. Work, earn, spend, feel empty, shop again to fill the void. Then I looked around. My apartment was packed with stuff, some things I had never even used. But I still felt like I was missing something. Time, freedom, meaning. I started researching and discovered that millions of people were stuck in the same trap. They worked endlessly to pay for houses, cars, and things society told them they needed, only to feel imprisoned by their own lives. If money and material possessions truly brought happiness, why are so many people still unsatisfied? The absurdity of consumer culture. One day, I was browsing an electronics store when I overheard a young guy staring at the latest iPhone, saying to his friend, "I need this one. My old phone looks outdated." I glanced at the phone in his hand. It was still new, fully functional. But he was convinced that if he didn't have the latest model, people would judge him. What are we doing with our lives? We buy things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people who don't care. I remember all the times I did the same thing. Buying an expensive pair of shoes only to get bored with them in a week. Getting a new watch when I already had 3. And then it hit me. I wasn't buying because I needed anything. I was buying because I thought it would make me more valuable. But your worth isn't in the shoes you wear or the car you drive. It's in who you are without any of those things. The big question. In the end, I had to face an uncomfortable question. If shopping truly made me happy, why did the joy never last? I used to believe that once I had everything, a beautiful apartment, a luxury car, a closet full of designer clothes, I would feel complete. But instead, I just felt emptier. I realized I was living the life that advertisements and social media had designed for me. You need this to be successful. You need that to be attractive. You must buy, buy, buy. But I started asking myself, what actually makes me happy? The answer wasn't a new pair of shoes or the latest phone. Happiness comes from freedom. Freedom from debt, freedom from worrying about meaningless things, freedom from chasing other people's approval. Are you truly living the life you want? Or are you just following the script the world has handed you? If this video made you think, hit like now. Comment below. How have you applied Stoicism in your life? Stoic success, unbreakable mindset, total control. 1. The world is changing. Everything is becoming digital. I still remember when I was a kid, our house had a massive bookshelf filled with books, photo albums, CDs, and DVDs. Every time my family moved, my dad had to pack dozens of boxes just for that stuff. But now, everything fits in a single smartphone. Music, books, movies, work documents, it's all stored in the cloud. Back in the day, if I wanted to watch a movie, I had to go to a DVD store to buy or rent it. Now, it's just a click away on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Books, I can carry an entire library in my Kindle without adding a single gram to my luggage. The world is evolving, and those who cling to physical possessions are only making life harder for themselves. A few years ago, I still held on to hundreds of books because I thought they made me look intellectual. But then I had a harsh realization. I didn't reread 95% of them. They just sat there collecting dust, taking up space and making me feel guilty every time I looked at them. So I transitioned everything to digital and kept only a handful of truly meaningful books. The feeling of liberation was incredible. My room felt more open and my mind felt lighter. Minimalism isn't just about getting rid of physical clutter, it's about cutting out the noise in life. Technology helps us do that, yet many people are still unwilling to let go of the past. Number 2, homes are getting smaller. Life demands flexibility. 3 years ago, I lived in a 100 square apartment. I thought I needed a large space to live comfortably, but the truth is, I only used about 20% of it. The living room was big, but I rarely had guests. The bedroom was spacious, but all I really needed was a bed. The kitchen was full of appliances, but I only used a few. Then I decided to do something crazy. I moved into a 40 square studio. At first, my friends mocked me. Are you downgrading? Living in such a small space must be suffocating, but I discovered something. I didn't need more space, I just needed enough space. My apartment was smaller, but I felt more comfortable. No more empty rooms, no more sky-high utility bills. Cleaning took 10 minutes instead of an entire Sunday. I wondered why I had ever believed that bigger meant better. The reality is that large homes no longer fit modern lifestyles. Real estate prices are skyrocketing, and jobs demand more flexibility than ever. Many young people are choosing remote work, becoming digital nomads, and living in multiple places instead of tying themselves down with a burdensome mortgage. Owning fewer things and living in a smaller space isn't deprivation. It's freedom. I can move anytime without worrying about packing a mountain of stuff. I can travel long-term without needing someone to look after my home. I'm not tied down to anything, and that's the most amazing feeling in the world. 3. High cost of living. Minimalism leads to financial freedom. I used to make about $5,000 a month. Sounds good, right? But the problem was I spent almost all of it. Luxury apartment rent, $2,000. New car plus insurance plus gas, $800. Eating out plus coffee, $600. Clothes, random purchases, entertainment, travel, and unnecessary expenses, the rest. The result? I lived like someone with an average income. No savings, no financial freedom. When I embraced minimalism, I slashed almost all unnecessary expenses. Moving to a smaller apartment saved $1,000 a month. Selling my car, switching to walking, plus public transport, saved $500 a month. Cooking at home, cutting out Starbucks, saved $400 a month. No more impulse shopping, saved $300 a month. In just 1 year, I saved over $25,000. I invested that money, and soon I realized minimalism is the fastest path to financial freedom. Many people in the FIRE, financial independence, retire early movement have retired by 40 or even earlier by reducing expenses and making smart investments. They don't have to work until 65 just to finally start enjoying life. Minimalism isn't about living miserably, it's about cutting out what doesn't matter so you have more for what truly does. Number 4, minimalism is more than just possessions, it's a mindset. After decluttering my belongings, I realized there was something even more important to simplify: my mind. I started by reducing information overload. I stopped consuming negative news, unfollowed people on social media who made me feel bad about myself, and focused only on content that helped me grow. Then, I simplified my relationships. I used to have hundreds of friends on Facebook, but how many of them actually cared about me? I decided to cut off toxic relationships and keep only the ones that truly mattered. Finally, I learned to simplify my thinking. I stopped sweating the small stuff. I stopped caring about what others thought. I stopped chasing things that didn't matter. The result? I felt lighter than ever. I had more time, less stress, and most importantly, I took full control of my life. The future belongs to minimalist society is getting more complex, and life is moving faster. Those trapped in consumerism will keep running in circles, drowning in debt and pressure. Minimalists, however, are different. They have fewer things but more freedom. They are not tied down. They don't succumb to superficial expectations. Minimalism isn't just a trend, it's the lifestyle of the future. And the ultimate question is, will you continue letting possessions, debt, and consumerism control you, or will you take charge of your own life? Stop wasting another day living in weakness and chaos. Subscribe to Stoic Success now to build an unbreakable mindset, master your emotions, and face life like a warrior. Do you think successful people live in luxurious mansions, drive supercars, and shop without limits? Think again. The greatest minds in the world understand that minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about focus. They aren't controlled by material possessions, they control them. Steve Jobs, living simply to achieve breakthroughs. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, was known for wearing the same outfit every day: a black turtleneck, jeans, and New Balance sneakers. He had enough money to buy thousands of different outfits, but he chose simplicity. Why? Because every small decision throughout the day drains mental energy. By eliminating unnecessary choices, Jobs could fully focus on what mattered most, turning Apple into the world's leading tech company. It wasn't just his clothing. In product design, Jobs also pursued a minimalist philosophy. The iPhone, iPad, and MacBook were all designed to be simple yet powerful, stripping away any excess. The result? Billions of people around the world use Apple products. Mark Zuckerberg, reducing to focus. Similarly, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, could indulge in luxury, but he still chooses to wear a gray t-shirt and jeans every day. When asked why, Mark said, "I want to minimize small decisions so I can focus on the important things." This helps him keep his mind clear to tackle Facebook's complex challenges without being distracted by trivial choices. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, yet lives minimally. Did you know that Elon Musk, the billionaire behind Tesla and SpaceX, lives in a small 400-square-foot home? Musk once owned multiple multi-million-dollar mansions, but he sold almost all of them to focus his assets on space exploration. Today, he lives in a portable house from Boxable near the SpaceX headquarters in Texas. Why would someone who can buy anything choose to live so simply? Because Musk understands that possessions don't provide real value. He doesn't need a lavish mansion to feel successful. His success lies in taking humanity to Mars. Minimalism isn't poverty, it's about control. I used to think that to be successful, I needed more. A bigger house, a nicer car, more designer clothes. But then I realized, a bigger apartment equals more time spent cleaning. More clothes, more choices, more wasted time. The latest tech, more pressure to keep up with trends. I started cutting back and something amazing happened. I had more time, less stress, and higher productivity. Successful people don't let things control them. They simplify to focus on what truly matters. Do you want to control your life, or let your possessions control you? The choice is yours. In the end, it all boils down to one question. Do you own your possessions, or do your possessions own you? I used to be trapped in the consumerism cycle. I worked hard to buy more, only to feel empty and buy even more. My apartment was full of stuff, yet I still felt like something was missing. The truth was, I wasn't lacking possessions, I was lacking freedom. When I embraced minimalism, everything changed. I had more time because I wasn't wasting it on cleaning or choosing unnecessary things. I had more money because I wasn't spending it on frivolous items. My mind felt lighter because I wasn't weighed down by debt or material concerns. Minimalism doesn't mean giving up everything. It means removing what doesn't matter to focus on what truly does. The world is changing. Those who cling to consumerism will remain stuck in financial stress, debt, and pressure. But those who embrace minimalism will gain an advantage. Less burden, more freedom, and sharper focus. You can keep drowning in shopping and consumption, or you can choose a lifestyle that puts you in control of your time, finances, and life. The choice is yours. Thank you for being here. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment so we can spread positivity together.